Today is Wednesday, October 21st, 2015, and today's rant, early in the morning, is going to be called Cryin Ryan. Now, Paul Ryan met with, I don't know if you've met with all of the Republican members of the House on last night and somewhere in the Capitol building, or if you only met with the ones that are causing the most trouble right now, which would be the House Freedom Group, the Republican Study Group, and I think the other one's called the Tuesday Group. The Republican Study Group used to be the conservative group. I think at one point Steve Scalise was running that group. And the House Freedom Caucus broke off. They became their own separate sect. And they were even more conservative than the Republican Study Group. So what's going on here is that these groups together combined, some people are in all three, some people are in one or two. Somebody had an article a while back and broke down how many, they figured out who was in what group. They pretty much don't really want to govern the United States. They don't want to be a part of the process. They don't want to be a part of the policy. They just want to be a part of the destruction of the United States, in a sense, because they won't do anything to raise taxes. They're big on social groups. So they say want to use freedom on one hand, but on the other hand, they want to force government down everyone's throat on things. But that's why Boehner quit. That's why Kevin McCarthy had his trouble. And it would be the same for Ryan if he didn't extract something from them so that he would be Speaker of the House. They have till Friday to decide that. Not really quite sure where they're going. There really aren't too many good options after that. There are other people who could be Speaker, but they'll have the same problem that Boehner McCarthy would have. And then, of course, if those groups don't change, then Ryan's not going to take the job. So for him, it's sort of a smart move. But the real point about all this, maybe by Friday we'll have a new Speaker of the House. But you know, typically the House only works Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So maybe they'll be here Friday this week. But they have to work today and tomorrow. They're off for 4 days. Then they come back 3 days next week. And then they come back after that. They're only here 1 day. And in between that time, a lot of stuff has to happen. Number one, the Highway Trust Fund needs to be approved and extended. Besides, it's been kicked down the road for about the last year, I believe. And everyone wants the money in there. The states want it. The local governments want it. It employs people. It's a winner. It's sort of a win-win thing. And we need to raise the gasoline tax. We could raise it easily 6-10 cents. We know that probably won't happen, but the last time the Highway Trust Fund raised the gas tax to pay for infrastructure repairs was 1994. They say that adjusted for inflation, it should be at least 12 cents higher per gallon. And I don't see the Republican Study Group doing anything about that. What Boehner and McConnell had talked about was getting a bill approved and the money funded for the next 6 years. Like I said, I don't think there'll be any increase. I'd like to see an increase. We'll see if Speaker Ryan and his group can do anything to improve what we need to do, which is to spend about $1 billion on our infrastructure, $1 trillion on our infrastructure. And the next thing that is coming up is the Export-Import Bank coming up. I'm not sure where that's going. And then the next big thing is the debt ceiling. The debt ceiling is going to be, I believe it's Tuesday, November 3rd, or Wednesday. Maybe Wednesday is November 3rd. Let's see, Halloween's on Saturday, Monday, Tuesday. Okay, so the first will be Sunday, the second will be Monday, the third will be Tuesday. So that means they got to come back or work over the weekend to do the debt ceiling. Now, this is where the big thing is going to happen with these three groups. Are they going to allow an increase in the debt ceiling, which everyone says has to happen, or are we going to default on our debt? Remember, people people want to throw money at the United States because they know it's the safest place to put their money. And that is a big, big deal. And the Republicans and those groups seem to think that it's funny, that it really wouldn't hurt the United States, it really wouldn't hurt the financial markets, it really wouldn't hurt the United States, their faith and credit in the long run, because they don't really want to govern. But these are hard choices that need to be made to govern. Again, the money for the debt ceiling is just to increase the debt to pay off the money that's already been spent, so to speak. So this is a big, big thing. And if Ryan does take the position, can all of those things get through in the next 10 or 12 days? Will we have a default on our debt? Will the Highway Trust Fund just get kicked down the road again for another 2 months to be done again? Will the Export-Import Bank have to get tied into some omnibus appropriations bill? That sounds like that's what's going to happen in all of these cases. But the big thing I see is at some point, remember, these people in the House, in the House Freedom Caucus, in the Republican Study Group, and in the Tuesday Group, they based their campaign on defunding Planned Parenthood, defunding Obamacare, and not raising any taxes, and reducing our debt. And of course, the Export-Import Bank is welfare. So, they're going against why they even went to Congress, what they ran on. So, I know that in a lot of ways, it's all going to get solved. What's going on behind the scenes right now, it's going to be a lot of dirty, dirty stuff, which no one wants to hear about. But it really is important stuff, because we need to kickstart, this country into the new century, which we haven't done for the last 15 years.